This is a mess. This shit's a mess. This is going so well. None of my commands are working.
100. We weren't gonna do this anymore.
I know. I don't know. I guess the automatic scene switcher I have set up did not automatically scene switch, so you gotta love.
It had one job.
I just love technology. But anyways, how's it going, folks? Welcome to another episode of DrawBomb Live that is pretty much the same as every other episode. I think we can all say that.
This one's different.
This one's different. This time it's going to be different. This one is different because we do have a guest.
Exactly.
Who you did not see.
No. And if you think you did, you're wrong.
Goddamn wrong. Get the fuck out of here with that shit. Welcome, Shinydoggy. Thank you so much for joining us again.
Shinydoggy.
Yeah, of course. I'm not sick this time, so I'll remember what happens.
There you go. I can't wait. You'll be. It's actually a bad thing that you will remember what happens because you'll just wake up the next morning. You'll be like, I said fucking. I've what?
No, last time I was literally like just sweating and like, wait, what did they say? I keep drawing.
Oh no. Well, no pressure. I don't even remember half the things I say on this show. It's all stream of consciousness.
Are you Robin Williams of Twitch?
Yes, that's exactly what I am.
That's actually that's the title that's been coined for him.
Robin Williams of Twitch. Oh. Oh jeez. Oh, I have a new subscriber.
I'm actually like, I'm not sick, but I'm still like dealing with a cough, so we just traded. So now I'm the
Oh no. What did you give him over Discord?
Yeah, come on.
That was 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, well, he was asymptomatic until now, apparently. So
It took a while to set in.
Yeah. One of those sleeper diseases. But it's so nice to have you guys here. Welcome. And by you guys, it's no surprise that Brandon is here. He is here every week.
I'm always here, like it or not.
Yeah. But Shinydoggy, welcome back. Thanks for joining us.
Yeah, of course.
How have you been?
I'm good. Yeah, I did a painting before we started. Whole Foods will. So I was like, okay, there's no way that Whole Foods just like sells all of their flowers. They have to have like waste, and they have to like not get paid enough to give a fuck about who takes that waste.
Right.
So I asked the lady that was there, and I was like, do you guys just like have flowers you throw away that people take? And she was like, yeah, sure. And so then I just like picked like a whole bouquet for free, and I was like, yes. And I was like, well, now that I have these, I need to paint them. So that's what I did today.
That's awesome.
I enjoy painting quite a bit. I just haven't really done it in a while. I should get back into it. I haven't done it since I was often forced to in college over and over and over for every project. So now I'm like still dealing with the trauma, but it sounds fun again now.
That's probably the last time I put brush to paper or canvas was in college as well.
It's relaxing. Cause like I'm working on a short, and I just like I can work on it for a bit, but then I'm like, I feel like I should be using like my free time, like not work free time, to be doing something like more like live, like legacy art, if that makes sense. Like something that I could give to like nieces and nephews, or like, I don't know.
Stuff that
things that like
is
when
digital.
I'm in the grave, they'll be like, oh, so and so made this, instead of like, you want to watch this digital thing?
Yeah, it's not like oh, we have to get all of their stuff off this hard drive.
After the apocalypse, you want something tangible that can still be around. It's not like
that you can barter.
Yeah, exactly.
There's a beautiful painting of flowers that was done by my great grandma.
I require one.
Oh my god. Okay, I'm sorry. this is directly related. There's like this woman that just keeps coming up in my like Instagram like follow page or whatever, and it's this woman who is like an antiques dealer, but specifically like gets heritage items back to like the original owners of it. So they'll go to like small museums, or like she'll find on like on eBay like somebody's great grandma's diary and be like, hey, can you give this back to this person because it's from so their cool. family.
Oh wow.
And there was awesome. This comment. Get ready. Sorry, you guys get your thoughts out on that, and then I'll bring up this comment.
My thoughts are that seems very wholesome and cool for a project, and like you don't really get much out of that besides just like doing something that I think people would really appreciate and be surprised by.
Yeah, right. I just didn't want to interrupt you. Sorry, I have like get really excited when I keep talking.
Oh, that's okay.
We're all on Discord, so we interrupt each other a lot. There's latency.
It's impossible.
You never know when someone's going to talk. So
yeah.
So the other comment was this person who was like, yeah, this happened to my family, but understandably so, because they were Nazis. So all of their paintings were stolen and put into a museum, but I understand. It's okay.
Well, I think that person has the proper attitude towards their family's atrocities, I guess. They're just like, yep, they fucking did that shit, so they don't get this
Gammy
stuff.
And Gomp kind of had it coming on account of being a horrible Nazi.
Right?
Yeah.
It's like, man, I really wish I could have my great-grandpa's diary, but he was a Nazi.
Actually, I don't wish I had great-grandpa's Nazi diary. Like, what the fuck's in that thing?
Knowing he was a Nazi already paints a bad picture. Actually reading his thoughts is going to paint an even worse picture.
Just like just like a list of war crimes just in his diary. Just like, today. But
don't even give it an example.
I still
I don't want to.
All the other races.
Yeah. Still go stepping.
Piece of shit.
Klaus said the funniest thing today.
Oh my god.
He said the funniest thing about the Führer. It was, we laughed and laughed. Milk came out of my nosen. Yeah.
Clearly how you say nose and
it's obvious. Duh. But yeah, so I understand. I'm glad that person takes the proper, I think, vibe towards their families. I don't want to call them heirlooms. Plus, it's just like if your grandfather's like, "We gave you this gold watch," you're just like, "I don't want this fucking watch. There's no way."
I don't want anything gold from you.
Yeah, I want no gold. But yeah, so that sounds like a very cool thing though, that person is doing that's their like mission, is sort of
super
like
cool project.
That restorative. It's like it's like a reverse Indiana Jones. It's like, this belongs not in a museum.
Yeah, exactly. It'd be cool if it wasn't like, I don't know. Her Instagram sucks. I hate her. I was just like, I wonder what the comments are on this. Like, I wish she was a good person, but like, whatever. I'll assume. I'll give her that like little token of like, good job, you're helping people, but I don't know.
The Instagram doesn't
seem like a good person.
Gotcha. Interesting.
She's a Nazi, it turns out.
Yeah. Wait, you should wait. We haven't said the person's actual. Yeah.
No, we didn't.
Yes. This is your grandfather's, you say? Very interesting.
I've seen that It's Always Sunny episode where they have like the grandpa's box. God, I love that so much.
It's so good. And then is it the follow-up episode where they get like the painting of the dog and they think that it's Hitler painted the dogs or something like that? And then Charlie gets like the Novocaine and like starts putting on like a ridiculous persona. Pretty great.
Yes.
I'm a big fan of that show. Loving the podcast.
Oh, there's a podcast?
Yeah, they started a podcast
a couple months ago.
Yeah, it's Rob, Glenn, and Charlie, and they just sort of talk. Like, the podcast started out, they were like, hey, we're gonna watch through every episode of the show, and we're just gonna tell you fun stuff about the episodes and like sort of our thoughts behind the episodes, especially like watching them after years of not watching them. But then the show sort of has devolved into we're just gonna talk about whatever. And then occasionally we'll sort of be like, oh right, the episode. So that you know, this dog was brown. But that'll be it. But it's fine and it's great. And it's a lot of fun hearing them just tell wacky stories. The one episode they got. What was that?
I just was trying to remember how bikes work.
Oh. Yeah, I have to. I rode a bike every day I lived in the city, and I still have to look up reference for like what those things look like.
Oh man, I hope you guys can't hear the construction outside my house.
I don't hear it.
Thankfully, I cannot. No.
Nobody likes drawing bikes. Probably some poor sap from an artist whose like job is like working for a bike company and has to draw bikes all the time. Probably still has to look up reference.
I think this is how bikes are.
I want to be.
I know there's 2 wheels. I'm sure of that part. I think there's a seat.
I think I
there's
drew a
some
boy's
weird
bike.
contraption in the middle that I could never draw from memory.
What's the difference between a boy's bike and a girl's bike? Aren't they just don't?
It's like the handle if you like pop off the front, if it'll like smack your balls or not.
Yeah, the
Oh.
bar in the middle is higher on the man's bike and lower on the women's bike.
I have never noticed that.
Wait, so then it's protecting the uterus?
Well, okay, so I always said that as like a kid. I'm like, this makes no sense. Like the bar should be lower on the guys, but I think it goes back to when women wore a lot of dresses, and it's supposed to make it so they can still ride the.
So that way they can side
Like-
saddle their bikes.
I think the bar's low enough that you can ride it without it completely pulling your dress up. The idea.
Okay, interesting.
Side saddle bikes.
Side saddle. I want a bike.
I like that visual better. That's more fun.
Yeah, that is
Did you
more
guys
fun.
know that there were like prosthetic legs that women would wear when they were riding horses? So that way it would look like they were riding side saddle, but they were actually like straddling the horse.
It was
Whoa.
prosthetic
Keep up
legs, you said?
posterity. Yeah, it was like, so on the saddle, they'd put the prosthetic leg to make it look like they were riding side saddle, like on their skirt, and they'd drape it over and like cover up their actual leg.
That's ridiculous. And
That's
of
like
course.
the original version of those Halloween costumes where there's like fake legs, like an animal carrying you away.
Oh my gosh, look, it's Miss Maisel. She's riding that horse, and there's an alien taking the horse away. Look at that.
Put the alien in one of those costumes.
Yeah.
The front half of the horse is being carried away by an alien.
Oh my goodness. The humanity. Quick, grab a celluloid photograph. That's the.
It didn't stand still for 3 minutes. Able to take a photo.
I recognize that blur. That's the alien that took the horse away. That's funny though. That's of course they would invent that. There was like some Swedish or Dutch company, and I don't know if they ever sold this contraption, but it was basically a bike helmet, but it had like a wig at the top, so that it looked like your hair. So you didn't look like you were a dumbass wearing a helmet. You didn't look safe. You just looked like you had hair, like a ponytail.
There's
I
straight
guess.
up a joke in Flight of the Conchords, the show, where they're trying to make a hair helmet because they're like trying to write a song, and then I forget what the exact story is. It's been a while, but either way, it's basically he just has a bike helmet with like a wig glued to it at the end when he's like happy with it.
I legitimately read like an article where like a Dutch company was like, or Swedish was like working on that too. That's very funny. Hey, Brent. Hey, Brent. Yeah, Jermaine. I got myself a helmet.
You know how you're super embarrassed about, protecting your brain when you're riding a bike? Well, now we have a solution. You don't look like a weak loser who wants to protect their brain.
Now you're just like a
Tony
normal
Hawk
idiot.
wore a helmet though.
What was that?
Tony Hawk. Whoa, what did I just do?
Tony Hawk did wear a helmet, you're right.
Did I duplicate this?
It was a whole news
How do you
cycle, but
move
not to.
something?
Wait.
When you finish moving it, it will not be duplicated.
Oh.
It just shows you where it was.
Oh yeah, it gets really weird with that move feature, yeah.
I'm not gonna get into the politics of it, but there was a whole news cycle on like Fox back when Obama was president, where he rode a bike with a helmet, and they were all like,
Oh yeah.
they kept comparing it to the picture of like Putin riding a horse, and they kept saying like how weak Obama.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Because he's wearing a helmet, and it's like, what a. Yeah, what an idiot. He's wearing a helmet. Oh my
What a
god. He
dumb
wants
idiot.
he doesn't want to die of brain damage. What an idiot.
Yeah, hey, Fox viewers, go ahead and don't wear a fucking helmet when you ride a bike or a skateboard or any of that
well,
shit.
apparently they don't.
Do the world a fucking favor.
No, because that's my family.
Oh no!
Don't hurt them because they don't know. Well, I don't know.
They had the chance.
Yeah,
that's
a lot of us would lose our families.
Yeah, it's true. I remember I saw like a Fox like report a long time ago that's like, check out all the shit poor people have. They have refrigerators. 98% of poor people have refrigerators. How ridiculous is that? And it was like,
shouldn't we feel bad for the 2% that don't?
yeah, it's like, dog, they gotta keep their food fresh. Like, poor people have to eat food too.
I did have a rich roommate though that she would just order all of her meals, and I was just like, I'm on food stamps. Can you not eat my bananas, please?
Yeah, what the fuck? Jesus.
They're in another world where they don't understand.
Yeah.
Stealing a piece of food
Yeah.
is a problem.
It'll be like you'll have like your poor friends and like you'll all like dip in on food, and your poor friend who's like covering everyone because they have the credit card is like, don't worry about it. And then you'll have like a rich friend who's just like, hold on everyone, let's figure this out.
Yeah.
But that's not true entirely, because my poor friends and I would usually try and figure, because none of us wanted anyone to have to fucking pay anyways.
For sure, but
For sure.
I don't know.
The rich, the poor, who can tell the difference? You know what I mean?
I'm not trying to start a class war here.
No. There's already a class war going on. We don't gotta worry about making another one. Come on. You can't tell me the rich ain't at poor with the war people here, or the at poor with the war.
Poor with the war people.
At poor with the war people. That's my new.
War people.
Poor pigs.
The rich people are scared of the poor people, but I personally am scared of the war people. There.
Yeah.
So you got your lady bomb driving a bike side saddle over a fire. Is that right? I like
it. Make that house now. It doesn't make sense.
No, it's perfect.
That lady bomb actually makes Brandon uncomfortable.
Why? Because she has a prosthetic leg. What's wrong with you, you ableist?
I'm so sorry. Yeah, I was racist.
When we were watching Jackass 4, because they had like
be forever like have to live this down, but like. I can't help that my brain is wired this way. It's wrong. But go ahead.
We were watching Jackass 4, and there's like, okay, so they hired a bunch of young people to do some of the stunts, some of the like,
because they couldn't.
Because they couldn't anymore, which is also weird because like the old Jackass guy still did, I think, the craziest stunts of the movie. If you ask me, like the one guy who's been there, like with the mohawk, he did like the stuff with the cup. Steve-O did the thing with the bees. Like they all did the like Johnny Knoxville did the thing with the bull. There's like they did all the worst stunts of like the movie, but then they had like some new folks in there to just like do like kind of do the filler stunts. And so one of the new people was a woman who did like 2 stunts, I would say. And so like the one stunt was what they had to like they were dressed as mimes and they had to like do crazy shit and not make a noise. So like she put her tongue to a taser like 3 times in a row. She
it's
just
like
went,
a cattle prod too. It was like
just like fucking going at it, and like I wouldn't be able to do that shit, like let alone 3 times in a row. But then she also
I was quiet for that one.
Yeah, you were. Yeah, but it was when she let herself get stung in the lips by a scorpion. That Brandon was like, I don't know how I feel about like the attractive woman doing all these like stunts that like normally these methed out.
I don't know if I mentioned attractive woman. I think I just the fact that like
I think you brought up that she was you brought up that she wasn't like
all the guys in that show all have like
you brought up that the dudes were
like
ugly.
A penis on their face. They're missing half their teeth. They're like they look like they've been doing these stunts for 30 years. And then she's just like a normal looking person and a woman, and a scorpion stabbing her in the face. And I was like, for some reason this feels harder to watch for me than the others. I can watch the dudes that are already covered in road rash do it, but this just felt jarring because it was new.
But like you've also never mentioned when like sometimes they're all wearing suits and done up very nice to look like fancy right before they get blasted with like elephant cum. Yeah.
The damage is done. They never look nice anymore. Johnny Knoxville somehow still looks like a
Johnny Knoxville
person. The rest
looks
of them-
fine. I think Chris Pontius looks great. I think Chris Pontius looks the least fucked up of all of them, in all honesty, and he's been on Wild Boys. But yeah, it was just funny. So we just made fun of Brandon nonstop since that whole moment. And so
Have you guys ever been tased
I've never been tased.
or shocked by something?
Shocked by stuff, but not I don't think taser level. I don't think.
Back when we first got shock collars for our dogs, my brother and our neighbor put on the shock collar and kept turning up the numbers and like running through the fence. That's about it. That's all I can remember.
Wait, you didn't do it though?
I didn't do it. No, of course not. I'm not gonna put a fucking dog collar on and get shocked. I'm not an idiot. I was 12.
I went under a fence, and I didn't know it was an electric fence for cattle, and I like caught it on my back, but it just felt like something like kicked me really hard down to the ground.
Ooh.
So it wasn't like painful. It just like it knocked the wind out of me, and I was like, "What the fuck just happened?"
But you were also under it, so like what? You had to get out from under it eventually, then, right?
Yeah, I just like scooted on the ground. It was like 2 wires like that, and I went under it to like get a ball.
Oh, I see.
And then when I
see.
came back, I like grazed it, and then it like kicked me.
Gotcha.
Yeah, I couple stories about that. First one, growing up, my mom at one point, not to get into this, but once had a run-in with this dude that was being a creep and like kind of stalking her and doing some weird stuff. So my dad bought her a taser, and one of them let that slip years later after this guy wasn't even around anymore. That story, and then it became a race for me and my brother to find this taser first, because whoever found it first was going to tase the other one, was the idea.
That's hilarious.
And then a few years back, I found it. I just stumbled upon it, and I buried it right back where I found it and never told anyone, because I'm like, all right, if I tase him, he's going to then tase me after.
Yeah. It's just gonna start something you can't stop.
I don't want this chain reaction to start. I'm just gonna put this away and pretend like I never found it.
Interesting. The only winning move is not to play.
Exactly. You know, an eye for an eye leaves the whole world tased.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that I avoided that one. And then the other thing is my brother's an electrician, so he used to like mess around with electricity a lot in like different weird ways. And he got shocked a lot, and I would too, and we just messed with weird shit. But real quick in the chat, Dallas Quinlan, first time chat. Thanks for joining us. Says, hey guys, saw the Oscar movie, shit ruled. Thank you.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate that.
That was really cool.
Oh, thank you.
Thanks. We're proud of it. We're excited to kind of see. I mean, the reception's been really fun so far, and we're proud of it.
Yeah, and we've been talking about like ways we can sort of pursue other sort of animations like that and like make similar movies. We've been talking about like other ideas, kind of doing the same sort of technique, but without quite the constraints that we were faced with for that movie. Yeah, like the time limit, kind of like more like getting more creative with the assets that we do put like the sort of motion tracking stuff on. But I appreciate you checking it out, Dallas Quinlan. Thank you so much, and thanks for checking out this stream after watching the show.
Yeah, we're doing it today. We normally do it every Monday, but yeah.
Did you guys make those assets the same day, or were you prepping for it?
We did all the same day. Like it like came down to the wire too. Like we're like scribbling out. If you watch the movie, you can see like the assets get slightly less. They get more and more simple by the end. Like the ones where they're spoiler for anybody who's watching, the guy when they're getting beaten, that was literally drawn like 30 minutes before we had to go live.
Yeah, I got that puppet set up.
Trying to make it animated.
Like 5 minutes before we hit record, I got the puppet set up for us kicking the guy's ass. So yeah, it was. Okay, so that was a catastrophe, but we're back.
Crisis averted. We're back.
The internet was being poopy, and I'm hoping with the various fixes we did with the modem and the servers and all that stuff that we got it fixed. We'll have to see.
Got Vampleb who held on, you know.
Thank you for sticking around with
They
us.
held on to that hope. I read her name Vampleb and then I said Hobe instead of Hope. That's there you go. My brain needs to reset. Hobe.
Turn it back off and on again.
I'll try. But
Can
it's
you
hard
guys
to
hear
turn
my
AC on.
AC?
We cannot. No, we can't hear
I
any
can't.
construction. We can't hear any AC. You are all good.
Good, because I'm sweating.
Can you guys hear the Roman Centurion War happening behind me right now?
Yeah, I didn't want to say anything.
Yeah. The Battle for Troy.
Sorry.
Going on right behind me.
I'm like,
I didn't know you
I'm
lived
gonna.
in
I went
Troy.
to Spotify to pause my air conditioner. Fucking drunk. Sorry. So, there were T-shirt cannons at the Coliseum, but they were wicker baskets that they would put like T-shirts in to throw to people. Except it wasn't just that. There was also like slips that were like titles to land and stuff like that.
What?
So people would fucking kill people over things in the cannons. And so if I'm like,
The show
people would
goes
get
on in the
arrested.
stands too.
Yeah, it
That's
was fucking
awesome.
crazy, man.
That's
So and like
fantastic.
slaves, they would like be like, "Here's a person. Anyone want to catch a person?" It's fucking crazy.
Wow.
Jesus.
I like that you like all the examples you gave, you like aged them back, but you did still say T-shirts. I just love
Well,
like
it's like the
talking about
concept.
ancient Rome wearing a T-shirt.
Yeah.
Wow.
It was like Colosseum, and then the year on it. Like
You're a fan of
wonder.
Anubis too? Yeah, I'm a real noob head.
Mhm.
I like these bombies you drew. The antennas are clever. You give them two
Yeah, I
bits.
like that a lot.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
super
Wow.
clever.
And
You're
the
opening-
lady-
Wow.
You're opening the scope for what can be the bomb guy, you know? I mean,
the
have we done a
Bombiverse.
yeah, the bombiverse. Have we done a bomb dog? I feel like we did a dog with a bomb head at some point and made it
Aw.
I'm
look.
gonna have to now.
Yeah, I feel like we did
I
at some
drew two
point.
normal wolves.
It's true. I like how you drew a guy just getting eaten. Like his whole stunt is you're gonna get eaten by wolves today.
Well, they do
I'm-
that though.
They do.
They,
Bomb boy,
put
and
on
this is
the,
the
like,
wolf stunt.
what's it called? The like bulletproof foam pads or whatever, and then they just release dogs on them. That was like in the original one.
That's true. There's actually a pretty crazy stunt in the newest one where the poor guy, I don't know why he signs up for like all of the stunts that like he willingly signs up for. But yeah, he gets strapped in a chair, they cover him in honey and like meat, and then they just like put a fucking
Salmon.
bear in the room and salmon and
Well,
yeah,
he didn't know that's what was gonna happen.
No, but he still like did all the cups. Like I don't know why he signed up for the cup series of events. Like that was just dumb of him.
Well, yeah.
But yeah, so they put him in a room, cover him in honey, put a bunch of salmon bits on him, and they just like unleash a bear into the room. And then like the bear is like sniffing him for a while, and he's like freaking out, and they're like trying not to like make too much noise to startle the bear. But then aren't they also like have a shock collar on him, so they start shocking him while the bear is like sniffing at him.
Yeah, so he's like jostling around, and then the bear starts to like bite or claw, and all of a sudden the bear handler like sprints into the room to like take care of it. And it's like the bear handler seemed concerned, which worries me.
Yeah, they like showed like right before he comes in the room, he's like, "Oh, I gotta go in now," and it's like I never want to hear the bear handler that urgent. I feel like that's concerning.
He should be like, old Patches never hurt nobody. That's what I want the bear handler.
Exactly. He should be just like hunky dory, like Leave It to Beaver walking in that room. It's like, okay now, Snapper, here we go back, come with me. And then the bear's like, grrr, and then like
Even
follows
like
him.
a dog or a cat, like if you're just fucking around and making weird movements that they don't understand,
They're gonna snap. My cat just like tried to fucking swipe me as I was resetting my modem. Because she's got like there's like a bunch of junk in the basement, so she set up like she liked to sit up on like one of the boxes that like she found a secret entrance way to. So we put a pillow up there, that's like her bed now, she just like sleeps up there. And so like when
Sprinkles or waffle?
this is Sprinkles, and when I see her, I like to go up there and be like, hey, Sprinkles. And sometimes she's down for it, and then other times she's just like, human, you have interrupted my sleep. I am pissed at you now.
We have our one cat, Theo. We always like, when I say mess with him, it's like he's a weird cat. He likes to be like, he likes to play hide and seek. He likes to be chased. He likes that kind of stuff. So normally he's into it, but we always call it his do not disturb if you walk up and he has like his arm over his eyes. We're like, oh no, doesn't want this.
That's cute. I just want to say real quick.
Cat owners, I mean, I get blood drawn every once in a while.
Oh yeah, I have a big old
Pictures that I
scratch
love.
on my hand right now. You can't see it.
I see
That was
It's
much.
picking up.
Yeah, it was much worse before, and it doesn't stop there. It also goes down to the thumb a little bit of the way, so it's like. But it was much worse when I first got it 5 days ago. But Dallas Quinlan says Gildan actually dates back to 2nd century BCE. Gildan.
Oh, like the t-shirts? Building t-shirts?
Oh, I see what they're saying, yeah. I was like, Gildan, what's that company? Why do I know that? It's because I used to order t-shirts all the time from them. That's a good one. That's a good joke.
The more you know.
Yeah. Yeah, there you go.
A little slow on the draw, but I do what
I tell you, Josephus, I'll trade you 5 grains for that shirt you got off of T-Fury.
I want that sequins Tweety Bird t-shirt.
Yes, it's as you can
Money
see.
signs.
3 a triple lupine moonlit night.
Saying words that
That was wild. I was there.
don't even go to.
You sure were. Yeah, that shit was crazy.
Well, okay, I like watched a video, like a very like elementary school video, because like I try and like when I have a meal, if I'm like, oh, I don't want to like zone out, I'm like, I'll be fucking around on my phone, so like I'll make just like a weird playlist on YouTube, just like stuff that I'm interested in.
Okay.
And like I was like just putting in like types of swords, and then like a Colosseum thing came up, and it's like the most like I don't know how to explain it, like somehow a Bible study group made an educational thing,
dear.
but it wasn't like religious, it was just that like level of quality. I was like,
Right.
wow, look at all these facts.
It's like really terrible, like still images, but like with like
Yes.
PowerPoint transitions.
Crossfades.
So like the like letters are dropping down one at a time from the like
Yeah.
ceiling for the words. How did the
Sure.
Romans?
A little more better, but
Oh,
Lots of
okay.
use of papyrus.
I did check their sources, so it was correct, but
Okay,
it was,
that's good.
was low
Call them out.
production value.
You know, look, they did their best.
They
can't-
tried. They taught me something.
Just because some of us learned Adobe, or not Adobe, I was about to call it Adobe Da Vinci. Adobe Da Vinci. Just because some of us used Adobe Da Vinci last week doesn't mean all of us can be quite wonderful editors.
So you think you're a wonderful editor? Is that what you're trying to say?
No.
You are. You did a great job.
Oh, thank you. What are you saying? What
DrawBomb
about?
recognizes multiple layers for fills? That's wild.
Oh, yeah. Wait, how do you mean? What are you talking about?
Like I bucket filled these things,
Mm-hmm.
and it just, I'm on a different layer, and it was like, yep.
Oh, interesting.
I use the fill tool so infrequently just because I get little crusties around the edge that I have to fix.
Yeah.
Granted, it still probably saves you time, but
I too am not a fan of the
established my
crusties.
style on this program is kind of messy. My lines are a little streaky. Colors aren't really in there. It works for this show.
It works for the show. I'm not a fan of the crusties myself. It can be, it looks ugly.
Do you guys ever think about
digital like experimental media and like the pixelation and stuff like that, like there's artists who use charcoal who like will leave like residue lines or like leave mistakes and stuff like that, and that if that was going to translate into a digital medium, it would be the like fill gaps,
right? Like the artifacts from like a JPEG or something like
that's
that.
A good, digital artifacts, but using it the way that like abstract or experimental artists use it, like with traditional things.
Yeah, you know,
some artists that do that.
Like I don't.
I've not very often, but I do see occasionally somebody who uses like almost like some like image, like I've seen people who like downgrade the quality to add like artifacts and things like that.
Yeah, analog horror does a lot of that stuff. Analog horror is big.
But I will say a lot of the like the things that you find in traditional art that are like that, people create them artificially so that their digital work has that same feel, even though it's like a thought they made instead of it happening just on condition of the medium.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's still like leaving those things in your traditional medium is still a choice. I mean, like, you know, if you have like, you know, you have Van Gogh and he's got like those like thick syrupy brush strokes where you can see Van Gogh.
Who?
Is it Gaga?
Van. That's how you pronounce his name. You know,
I've been saying it wrong all these years.
Yeah, Van. But you know, Van. Whenever he would do like, he would have those big thick brush strokes that you could see all the time, and people would be like, "Look at the way Van Gogh uses the thick brush strokes." But like, I've also seen oil paintings where like the oil has been smeared into like a fine, like it's like all a fine layer, like it looks like a digital painting inside of a oil painting.
You can be real smooth if you want to be.
Yeah, so it's that's even an intentional choice too. Although like with digital, it's even harder because it's an intentional choice, which you then have to like figure out. Okay, well, how am I gonna add like thick brush strokes to this thing and make it look good? Whereas in paint, you're just like, and there you go. You got a big thick brush stroke on your thing. But like in terms of JPEG artifacts and stuff like that, or like just digital, like I've seen it used for horror effect. Like, you know how like video will do like that thing where it'll like kind of carry over like old things. I've seen that like where faces get stretched to make to look like extra horrifying. There's one guy I know who he does like this series of videos where it's like, first I'm holding a can, oh, but what? It's actually I'm on a skateboard.
Those things,
yeah. So I've seen those. I think like it would be a cool thing to play with, like making like that sort of artifacty nature to it. I know there's ways to intentionally make programs do it. I don't know how to do that shit. But like making JPEG art, like could you imagine if you had a brush in like Photoshop or Clip Studio Paint where you just started painting and it would just start to like JPEG artifact the shit out of like your layer? Like that'd be kind of cool. That'd be a cool thing to work with. I don't know how it'd work.
I mean, a smudge tool could probably do it.
Yeah, but it's not the same because then you get like all that weird chromatic aberration and like
different noise filters.
Yeah.
But it's the short I'm working on, I'm trying to make it look like old cell stuff, and so it's been a lot of like fucking around with a bunch of filters and moving stuff slightly, and then like half opacity of like a disgusting noise layer.
Yeah, just like those little impurities that make like actual physical media, you know, what it is. Gotta play with chromatic aberration. You can't go wrong with a little bit of chromatic aberration.
Gotta aberrate that
That's right.
Chrome.
Yo, my chromatics be aberrated, son.
You guys keep up with... I'm sorry.
No, go ahead. What were you about to ask?
That one's dead. The horse has been beaten. It's time to move on.
Yeah.
Sorry. So I like follow a lot of like crypto, like zoology. Did I scare you?
Oh, thank God. I thought you were about to say crypto.
Cryptozoology and like alien stuff. And there's like an Instagram that I follow.
Do you watch like those SCP videos, like where people do like dramatic recreations of SCP monsters or like entries? Okay, like when you say crypto, do you mean like stuff that's sort of more widely in the zeitgeist, or is it like anything?
Yeah, like Bigfoot, or like, oh, here's a photo that we recently got from this unknown source, and blah 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 blah.
Right.
I saw one last night. Well, so last night there was one that was like this apparition. I can post it in the thing. That was like pretty cool. But then there was like one that was like, this creature crawled out of a river. It just looks so fucked up. It's absolutely terrifying, and I hate it.
Oh boy.
I'm not gonna post it if you. So
I want to see
look
it.
At it again.
Oh no, I love the horror
wanna see
genre. Yeah, we love horror.
I want to see it. Not to make you relive it, but
Yeah.
So the photo of the apparition's on my phone, but I'll look up the other thing.
Okay, cool.
possible that you know, like with this unknown source, it's like a Spider-Man situation where they're the monsters themselves are set.
That's true.
Photos. It's like I just got rocked or stoned to death, and now I've just.
I'm just picturing. I'm just picturing like J. Jonah Jameson going, I need pictures of Swamp Thing, and then there's just Swamp Thing. He's like dressed in a really shitty human costume, and he goes, okay, and he's, I'll go get pictures of Swamp Thing.
Swamp Thing's a monster, and he's like, well, I don't think he's that bad, really.
Will not understand Swamp Thing. That's actually the, you know what's totally making me think of that is I was watching some Flapjack with my brother and my friend and Isabel, and Bell Rock in the chat, friend of the chat, friend of the show. But we were watching Misadventures of Flapjack, and there's the episode with Cammy Island where they think they're going to Candide Island, but it's actually Cammy Island, which is like home to this big swamp monster like creature that's like 10 feet tall. It's like, Cammy, a girl. Cammy, make friend. So I think I'm just thinking of that, but with a Spider-Man situation and Swamp Thing. It still makes me laugh though when I think about it.
Swamp Thing impression.
What was that?
Sorry, this website isn't good to navigate. Would you believe it?
No, what? They're
By
posting.
going to the website, you get a cryptozoology monster that is a computer virus.
Yeah.
Probably.
Whoa.
Dude, I think something's got to be alive in my computer, because sometimes it clicks stuff without me clicking it, and it like not as like a virus thing of like something I'm about to click. I'm like, am I like really high, or did that just click that for me?
Clicked
My
ahead of
computer
time.
keeps finishing my sentences.
It no, not like autofill.
Oh, computer, you know me so well. You finish my sentences. That's right.
Alright, I'm gonna get fucking cursed for putting this picture on my computer. So
Oh,
you
I
guys
can't
are
wait to
gonna
see it. Curse me, Daddy.
Now that river creature is like heading your way.
Yeah.
Oh my god, it's not even in my downloads. It's
Oh my gosh, there you go. See?
Look what we've done.
My downloads file completely disappeared. What the?
That's what you get for downloading pictures of the New Jersey butt boy.
Monster.
It is from Panama.
Panama.
2009. Bizarre cryptid killed in Garo Azul, Panama. It
Killed.
stated that 4 children were frightened and stoned it to death. I'm simply looking for further information.
The children
But it
defeated
doesn't have
so
like
that should make you feel a little more comfortable about this creature.
Yeah. Don't be worried about this
Children.
chupacabra. Turns out all you need is a fucking rock.
I mean,
Oh.
3 kids in with 3 sociopathic children in a rock.
Goonies.
Yeah.
Z-Newt says, "Curse me, Daddy."
Z-Nudes, it's in general. Go
Oh, I
terrify
better
your
go look at this
eyeballs.
thing.
Somebody
I
I
posted.
just don't understand why its belly is so bloated. Like,
Is it like the kind of thing we can post on the stream? Because I can't look at it right now, unfortunately.
oh
without.
yeah, it's not
Okay.
it's not like pornographic. What if it was?
Oh my God! Look at this.
It's just
Hot
so long.
cryptids coming your way.
So this is a lamb with alopecia that some kids destroyed with a rock.
It just doesn't make sense where the nipples are. It's like in the armpits, which makes me think it was like
drop or something.
This is Slender Man. He may be slender, but he says he's got girth in all the right places.
Slender Man looks very different without the suit.
Yeah.
He's very pasty. He's got weird nipples.
Little known fact about Slender Man. Weird nipples.
Yeah. That's why he's so aggressive. Self-conscious.
That's right.
It just doesn't make sense. That's also like where the like sticks and stuff like cover its like bottom part of the torso is weird, and it's like if they stoned it, why is it like I don't know. And its tongue is like just so on its arm.
This thing sounds great. It sounds like a great picture.
I'm looking at it. I don't know if you looked at it yet, Ian.
I can't. I need someone to post it.
Oh.
In the draw pile.
Alright.
Oh, did you just copy paste it?
Yeah, you can just copy and paste.
So,
Let me see.
thing.
Poor Ian.
I don't know what thing look like.
It's posed in like a...
There. I think I did it. Or do I have to press enter?
Yeah, you have to make sure you get the you have to click off of it. There we go. Oh my.
It's like under everything.
This thing looks like the baby dinosaur from that Dinosaurs TV show, but with like a horrible body added onto it. Yeah.
If it grew up to an adult.
Oh no.
Not the mama!
Not the mama! Daddy! That thing looks weird as hell.
Strange.
Yeah.
Strange thing. Alright.
Look at it.
Look at it.
I'm done looking at it.
Yeah, I think I get it. It looks like a Muppet that they were like, nope.
They forgot to put the hair
A scientist,
Yeah.
a scientist created a machine that turns a Muppet into a living creature.
That was like they were making those
Kill
like
me.
they were making those vulture creatures for the first Dark Crystal movie, and that one they didn't put the feathers on yet, and they were like, nah, this one sucks. Toss it.
Yeah.
Then a bunch of kids in Panama
Poor
threw
thing.
rocks at it.
That's what it gets for coming out of the river, I guess.
Yeah.
It's just trying to make friends.
Right.
So I think I asked you about this last time you were on, because I think we may have mentioned the crypto stuff last time, but
We did.
we did talk about it?
Well, I don't know what you're going to ask, but I'm saying we talked about crypto stuff a little bit last
Talk about it a lot.
I mean, I love that stuff
I
too.
like
It's a lot of fun. But did I ask you about like that if you've watched that YouTube channel where it's the guy doing like the top 10 lists of scary things, but he's got like the annoying voice inflection all the time where he's like, welcome to the top 10 scariest things you've seen. Number 10. Out in Pakistan, this creature is thought to be a evil, possessed goat.
Look Mojo or whatever it's called. Watch
It
Mojo.
might be that guy. I don't know. My ex used to watch like spooky YouTube all the time, and one of them would be like top 10 countdown lists of like scariest things caught on film this week. And the guy just had the worst voice for the job ever. He just like people talk about like upspeak where you're constantly talking like this, but it was like he was announcing a whole video like that. But like it doesn't seem like a way people talk the way this guy talks. He's like, and now
He's a crypto monster himself.
I think so. I think he's the Swamp Thing, and he just hasn't figured out how to talk to people yet.
I had probably at some point. I don't know. My YouTube goals aren't that elaborate or planned. It's usually I'm just like, I wonder what YouTube's doing right now as far as like telekinesis goes. Then like I try and find like the weirdest videos that people have made.
Oh.
Yes, you're right. I am just not harnessing my full potential.
In order to do telekinesis, here's what you have to do. Number 1. donate to my Patreon. If you
Number two.
donate, what was that?
Yep. I don't know. I was gonna continue the bit.
Telekinesis
cut you off.
MLM.
Have a
Get 10
bucket of
people.
pig's blood dumped on your head.
Yeah. 10 most telepathic people. They know you're watching. Number 10.
You guys, I, it's like an irrational fear, but like with, I guess because it's like you're around them so much, but like my boyfriend, I'm always like, you can fucking read my mind. You know, you know. And I just get so scared because then he'll look at me and I'm like, oh, you know. But it's just like,
You heard that?
he just felt somebody looking at him for too long. It's like, what the fuck is she doing? She was walking to the kitchen and she just stopped behind me.
I mean, you can definitely feel when people are looking at you. I feel like that's an interesting phenomenon that I don't know if we've ever like fully, like, have we ever done scientific things on like, hey, when someone's looking at you, because like it has to, because like the observer effect is a thing.
Energy or something, right?
Yeah, like the observer effect is a thing. So like you observing something does affect the outcome, which means that your visual does something with energy? I don't know. Argon? Xenon? Like what does like
Oh, I thought you were referencing like Oregon. It's like, oh my god, you know what Oregon is?
No, I don't. What is that? What is
I've heard of its trail.
yeah.
Yeah, it's it's actually a computer program that was made in the 1990s. No, Oregon is it's supposed to like dispel bad energy from like your home, whatever. Like it's old with old, like I guess it's 5K now, but before it's just like Wi-Fi. But 5G. It's like screws and like bits of copper. It's like resin triangles that people sell. If you go into like any like a head shop, they'll have like these resin triangles, and it's just like these things. The guy who originally made it, I think he like electrocuted himself to death. I'd have to read.
Oh my god!
But it's a really fun story.
Huh? That kind of reminds me of there was a episode of Modern Family where the dad, he's a realtor, he's trying to like sell a house, but he can't because like there's evil spirits in the house, and like the wife Gloria, she's like, there's evil spirits in the house, and then she's freaking out.
What a way to do a Colombian accent.
I was just gonna say.
It's the least racist, but
canceled.
I know. I stopped trying.
Accurate.
I stopped trying because I was just like, I started to say, like, I realized I started to do an impression of her, and I was like, I don't know what I don't know what I'm doing with this accent. I am gonna stop. But yeah, she's like, ay, Dios mío.
And he's back.
I'm back. I'm so scared. There's the energy in the house, and then like they even start to play like a slight sound of like like in the house when they're in it, and like really make it seem like it's evil. And then they realize that just like a bunch of the pipes are like fucked up and are bursting, or and like the heat is like wrong or something. Like they just like realize there's a bunch of structural shit wrong with the house, and then like it starts to fall apart because they've. Of course, that would be the funniest way to have the climax of that scene. But I like to think that's kind of like that. Like the guy's like, I've got Oregon, and look, the house is so evil, and it's just like there's exposed wire. Like
yeah, it's
pipes.
A snake oil thing for sure. It's fun. I don't know. It's like what sticks with the world. It's really
fun. Divining rods. What are your thoughts on those?
I don't know.
They are just divine.
I think that I don't know. There's a lot of things where what is it? Snake oil salesman. That's the best thing that I can do. Is like you can tell by the ecology of places where water will be, and so it's like I think that might be part of it. I do believe in senses like of people, but what's really cool about the Oregon thing is just like how prevalent it is. Because if you go into any sort of like spiritual shop or like crystals or whatever, they'll have it, and it's just so weird. That's like one thing that people have really latched onto.
Huh. Interesting. They latched onto it, but like the guy who invented it, it didn't help him.
Yeah.
from getting electrocuted to death in that house.
No, it's also like related to people that like believe that they're being tracked by something, and they by like fibers on their body. They compulsively like pick at themselves because they think that there's like these micro wires that are attached to their body, but it's just like fibers from their clothing and from like the environment sticking to their skin because we have tiny hairs and oil on us. And it's,
Yeah.
I don't know, it's a really fun deep dive.
That is a fun deep dive.
It's sad, but
Just like all of the people who have had like neuroses that like somebody then was just like, I know how I can exploit this.
right.
There's an industry here.
You've got a ghost on your shoulder. You need to buy my special slingshot to shoot the ghost off your shoulder.
Yes. But you have to
Ian,
write
is
down
this-
the right stones.
Yeah, exactly. Make sure you buy the right stones, or else.
Is this episode 103? Is that correct?
That is correct, yes. I made sure.
Okay, I wasn't
No, I'm glad you're checking. 'Cause I've gotten that wrong before. Buy these special stones, shoot the ghost off your shoulder. He's telling you all these things. Giving you bad ideas. Making you horny. That's right. The ghost on the shoulder is why you're horny, not you. It's not your fault.
I knew it.
Buy my slingshot today. Goofy
No,
shit.
You don't.
Yeah, he'll know if you don't.
That's another thing. Just like tithe. Like, are you guys Catholic?
I grew up Catholic.
Did you guys pay your tithe?
Raised Lutheran, so.
Does Lutheran have tithe?
I believe so.
Tithe?
Yeah. Yeah, basically.
Tithes, yeah.
Basically just like your weekly donation type thing.
It's like you're supposed to
no.
give 10% of
10% of your income.
Right.
Yeah.
Lutherans also went off the 10% thing, but it was like
Oh yeah.
it wasn't like in a lump sum or anything. It was like you just
Came up with that.
The church.
It was like
the
10%.
Catholics.
Yeah.
You know just what you can't. No, 10%. Otherwise, you're not welcome.
Yeah. Hey.
Lutheranism kind of was created on account of the price tags that Catholicism
Yeah, that's
put
true.
on.
Martin Luther.
heaven.
He was the first guy to translate the Bible into modern tongue at that point, or common tongue, so that people who were just like not involved in the church could actually read the Bible. And then they were all just like, hey, all that shit you said about us having to pay you money to get into heaven, that's not in here.
Oh yeah.
Not in it. Yeah, the Catholic Church at the
That's
time
super fun.
was charging money for confessions.
Yeah.
Well, they were
and-
also like, sorry, go ahead.
No, go.
Oh well, I was gonna say was so that basically he called that out. But then when the Lutheran Church was created, they're like, no, we still do the tithe thing, of course.
We need the money.
Like, but you still give us
Yeah.
your money. I just a little less.
It's
Yeah.
so much fun though that it was like you can buy your way into heaven here.
Yeah.
It's like
Yeah.
Seems it's so
Instead of,
backwards.
like,
It's like the opposite.
say X amount of prayers and blah blah blah, and it's like, what do you got? What's in your wallet right now? So,
Yeah, hey.
that's fine.
Hey, what? You want to go to
You
heaven?
look like you got some money. You want to go to heaven, bud?
There was a
Dude, one
whole.
time
Sorry, go ahead.
Go ahead. No.
Well, I was just gonna say that there was a whole industry in like Egypt of like, you had to be mummified in order to go into the afterlife or something like that. So like there was a whole industry of like buying your way into the afterlife, or you could even like pay to have people not go to the afterlife and shit like that. It was like a whole industry in like ancient Egypt.
Was
even.
it that you had to be mummified to get in, or was it like basically the way you go out is the way you're coming in? So like keep your body in like good shape, and here you can, if you're like rich, you can have a room where you can put all your stuff, and that'll come with you too.
Well, I don't remember if it was you had to be mummified specifically to get into the afterlife, but you had to do something specific to get into the afterlife, and it was like the sort of thing where like you had to pay money to do it. So it was like if you were too
There's
poor.
like the coins, passage with the 2 coins over your eyes to pay the boat ferryman from like the death to the actual
Yeah.
place
I like that
in
the
purgatory, the purgatory river.
like the river of sticks, like boat
Yeah.
man. He's like only 50 cents to get across. Have
What,
a
you
coin
do-
on each eye, and we'll get you there.
What, you don't got your bus ticket?
Imagine,
Yeah, basically.
his hand being so jingly, like
Yeah, he just has a pocket full of coins.
I just
Like a
want
wind
to.
chime coming out.
I just want to take that scene from Indiana Jones where he throws the guy off the blimp and goes, "No ticket," and then replace Indiana Jones with the riverboat Karen, and then have it be like,
There you go.
"He didn't have coins over his eyes. What do you want me to do about
To
it?"
hell, he's going to hell for eternity. No coins on his eyes.
It's his fucking fault for not putting fucking coins over his dead fucking eyes. You know what I mean? I'm just Karen.
You start feeling sick, no one's around, make sure you put some coins on your eyes just in case.
That's right. Go to sleep at night. Just put some fucking coins on your eyes. You know,
There you
blocks
go.
out the sun.
Play it safe.
Yeah. I think this picture's done. By
I like
the way.
the idea though of like when you die, all of the stuff that you have on you is what you take, and so like somebody who's afraid of the rapture is just like has a giant backpack and just like
Yeah.
everything, like a one-man band sort of thing. Just like,
When you're going into heaven, it's like that scene in all the movies where somebody's leaving jail and they're listing all their things for him. One red shirt,
Yeah.
all
one
you
cell
get.
phone,
One watch.
and so on. All right, let me
Yep.
save this and we'll move on.
I like to.
Thanks for putting little angry eyes on my bees.
Oh yeah. Look at them angry beats. I like
It's a
how
lot
you
of
have.
anger.
I like how you have
It
the
was
one,
funny.
the mousetrap snapping on the bomb's butt, like in balls.
I'm glad it came across as that because it
Yeah.
didn't. I was gonna do a clam, and then I was like, I don't think that would make sense.
Clams pinch people a lot in cartoons, but I've never seen them do it in real life.
Yeah, I think once you get them open, that's it then, right? The clam's just like, oh shit. Ah.
If you break them open, then yeah, you like essentially snap their spine. But they do.
They got that water
Just like the
vascular
rim.
system.
The rim, like the reason why it's like rippled is
Mhm.
because in those little holes is their eyeballs.
Oh.
Oh,
Bunch of ice.
Bunch of
Can
ice.
have the visual.
So that's then the Banjo-Kazooie method of portraying clams is the most accurate way.
Oh, first.
Banjo-Kazooie,
Oh yeah.
they just had the clams like this.
Yeah, except they go all the way around. Like every divot is an eye.
Oh, that's horrifying.
so there's so
And I
many
think-
creatures on this planet that would be like, basically like,
It's like
Get
this.
what's the author that did like Cthulhu and is like super
H.P.
racist
Lovecraft?
and all that? Yeah, I feel like there's so many creatures on this earth that would be like H.P. Lovecraft monsters if they were just not tiny.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Almost all insects.
all insects for sure.
A lot of aquatic creatures. If they were
Insects are just
not
aliens.
small.
I mean, H.P. Lovecraft, and he was, I mean, they would go to like villages of like fish people and stuff. Like a lot of his creatures were very nautical themed because like the deep sea, like Mariana Trench and like all that stuff is so full of like mystery and like, ooh, what's down there?
But what is down there?
I don't know.
Ask, director of Terminator 2.
Oh yeah, James Cameron, that's right.
Hangs out down there, I think.
He's a fan of the Titanic and the deep ocean.
Have you guys seen that edit of the Titanic where it's like a guy and his cat? Or like he like edited his cat into Titanic?
No. That sounds amazing.
I'll send it to you.
Yeah, please do.
It's like he took the trailer and just the cut scenes. He just like put like footage of his cat, so it seems like somebody who's like in love with their cat. Great.
That's fantastic. Have you guys? You've both seen Titanic. I feel like we also talked about this. I'm not sure. You guys have both seen Titanic, right?
I've seen the Titanic.
Yeah,
All right.
I seen it.
You seen
Why?
Titanic? Oh, I'm just curious. I haven't, but
Really? Why?
when it came out, I was a kid, and it was like they were like, "Oh, it's the best love story ever told," and it's 6 hours long. And as a kid, I was just like, "I'm 10. That all sounds bullshit." So I didn't, and I just
You were
never found
10
it.
when Titanic came out.
I was pretty young.
What year
when
did
that
it
movie-
come out?
When did it come out?
Go to Google.
When's the Titanic?
I feel like it came out like 2001-ish.
1912, you idiot.
Oh, of course.
97.
That's when the Titanic was.
97,
Oh,
so yeah,
97.
I was 6.
Yeah, you were. I would have been 7.
Yeah, I was 6 too.
Yeah, so like I was
remember...
like, I thought Space Jam was a masterpiece at that point, so the Titanic was definitely not on my list.
So my parents would like have movie nights where I wasn't allowed in the living room, and like I would just like watch stuff in my room and like hang out by myself. Like I was very good at taking care of myself, but I would like always sneak out and like crawl behind the couch to like watch the movies. And like one night it was Chucky, and I had an ABC doll that would sing, and I was so scared of it. But it was so expensive that like I would hide it at the bottom of my toy chest. But every day when I came home, it would be on my bed because my mom was angry that she spent so much money on this doll and I was playing with it.
Oh no.
The worst. I hated it.
That's too funny.
Yes.
Like, it's hot time.
And that's how you spell cow. No.
And I had like a clown lamp that like if you stepped on like a board just right, it would like go off and it like danced to like this weird chimey music, and I wasn't afraid of that.
Really?
the Chucky
I'm not even like
ABC doll was too much.
I'm not even like afraid of clowns, and that would have scared me as a child.
Yeah, my dad.
I used to do movie nights with my dad. Like, he would just come home and he'd have like a bunch of new movies rented, and he'd be like, hey, yeah. So like he would, but like it was frustrating because like he would never tell us what the movie was beforehand. He would just be like, we're gonna go watch a movie, kids. And so we'd go down and watch a movie, and like half the time it was like a movie that like a 10-year-old like me would have like wanted to see, and then the other half the time it was like not. And it would just be it was kind of like a luck of the draw situation. And so like half the time I'd be like we would just be like, Dad, can you just please tell us what the name of this movie is before we start watching it? And he'd be like, no, we're gonna find out as we watch it together. And then we start watching it, and it's like called Go, and it's about like party clubbers who do drugs or some shit like that. And I'm like, I wanted to watch like fucking Lion King. That would have been great, Dad.
Thanks, Dad.
Yeah, thanks, Dad. Now I watched the first 20 minutes of Go.
And then he was like, all right, you guys, let's call it a night.
Yeah, he would do that occasionally. He'd be like, oh, nope, that's a boop. We can't. Movie is canceled.
I'd have that sometimes too. I vividly remember, I didn't realize, I didn't have this flashback until I was older and actually watching it for the first time.
And then it came back to you like,
But there was the time that my dad got Big Lebowski, and he put it on. And like, then so the opening scene where he's getting like his ass beat in like his own apartment, and also my dad just like turned it off, and he's like, nope, not what I thought it was. We're not watching this. And I'm like, and then when I remember just like first time I actually watched it, I was like, I'm getting flashbacks to watching this with my dad, and scrambling to turn it off. It was like, awesome.
My dad would let me watch South Park, and I was like 5 watching South Park, and my mom would get so mad at him, rightfully so. Why am I watching South Park? But I remember him just saying, she doesn't even understand. And like, like as a child, I didn't. He was right, but like now as an adult woman, I'm like, why the fuck were you letting your 5-year-old?
Why would you let your kid watch South Park?
Sure.
That's
early South Park.
Yeah, like my parents refused to ever let me watch South Park, so I had no idea what the show even looked like for the longest time. But we did have like groups, like friends, who would then just give us the recap the next day about like what happened, and we'd like listen, like, oh my god, he's telling us about the episode where the Virgin Mary bled out of her vagina or something like that. And like we would be just enraptured because like we would this mythical show called South Park we're never allowed to watch. It was like the worst show ever. We hear it's the worst show ever. We're not allowed to see it. So that always fascinated us. But also like as a child, like at the age of 3, my dad was like letting me play Doom and like Duke Nukem on the computer, and like that pissed my mom off. Like same way your mom was pissed that your dad was letting you watch South Park, but it was like
Dude,
I don't know.
my dad would watch like Rob Zombie movies like while I was just painting in the living room, like just coloring in my coloring book, just like
House of
what
a Thousand
like,
Corpses is on.
Yeah, all the time. And I just didn't think anything of it. But Chucky.
Wow. Chucky though, that one really got. I would have definitely been
because you were a child.
Yeah.
Like, I'm surrounded by these goddamn toys.
Dolls. No, my dad definitely was not. He was and is not a great person, but love him.
Love you, Dad.
We
Shout out to fathers. Sorry, what were you?
All sorts of movies I shouldn't be watching way too early, and shows and everything. Combination of my neighbor was my cousin who was 6 years older than me.
Cool. That
and
sounds
he was just
fun.
like, he'd be like, yeah, I remember watching like Blair Witch Project as a kid, and like when it came out, and was like way too young for it. Terrified, like Candyman and like all these horror movies. And then also the other thing was we lived in a small town, and there was one video store called Video Venture. Shout out Video Venture. I just like
they
that
exist still.
name. Like, they probably do. They would basically, it was like a mom and pop place, and you go in there and we're like kids way under like the age that you should be renting certain movies, and we put something on the counter, and they'd be like, "Are your parents okay with this?" And we'd just be like, "Yep." And they're like, "All right." We rented, like,
We
watched,
got
like,
bills to pay.
Yeah.
we probably rented out that entire video store, as kids. Saw all sorts of horror movies and slashers and comedies that we shouldn't be seeing. But
Yeah,
do
you guys' movie places have like the secret porno rooms?
I'm not
ours
sure.
Just had a big binder that you could look through, but the town was so small. I mean, you just think of the balls of somebody that just goes to the porn room or looks through the binder in like a town where you know everybody. It's like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
not saying that you should be uncomfortable, but it would make.
You kind of should though. I mean, in a small town, those are some judgy people.
Right.
But so we had a Blockbuster, and I know for a fact that Blockbuster definitely had like a back area that you had to like get a key, and like the people would have to like let you back. But like even before Blockbuster, we had like, I remember we had a store that Dad would rent Sega Genesis games from, but I don't know
hell yeah,
enough.
renting games is the best.
Hell yeah, that shit was like the funnest shit ever. But I don't remember what that store looked like. I remember like I have like the vaguest mental picture in my head of like us renting like games from that store, but it's not something that really sticks in my head, so I don't know what their back section looked like. And then we had a 40, like I remember when the one like before the Blockbuster came in, we had normal video rental stores, and then like 48-hour rental came to the town, and we were like, 48-hour rental? Oh my, you can rent a video for over the day? And that blew our minds. Like, we were like, oh my god, you can rent a video for more than one day at a time? This 48-hour video shop is blowing the walls off this business.
Video Venture had this deal that was 5 movies for 5 days for $5, and also known as the babysitter, because my parents were like, oh, just give our kids $5 and then they're preoccupied while we go to work.
That's great.
So that's how we rented all these movies we shouldn't watch. But it was great. Very
yeah, we had like dollar rentals, so that was always really fun.
Ah man, remember the good old days of dollar
like
rentals.
Old movies, but
I'm like, remember the good old days of dollar rentals, but I can watch like 80 movies for free tonight on Netflix, and I'll
when
pay
you're
like.
a kid, though, it's like you go and find this treasure, and it's like, whoa, no one else is gonna see this.
Yeah. Whoa.
No one in this 10-block radius will see this because I have it.
To be fair though, if you're in a small town, there's a very good chance that you are the only person in like your area who has seen or played like that game. Like no one ever
Think of
knew.
the power. I'm the only one in this small town that can watch Police Academy 7 tonight.
But like no one I ever met had ever played like any of the games we rented until like I got on the internet, and then like finally it was people who were like, "Whoa, it's the music from Contra Hardcore. It's sick, dude."
We were so bad at games though that like renting games was great because I had never gotten past like the first level of like most games. So it was like, this game sucks. It's just this one level.
Half of my adulthood
in the 90s when you're like renting NES games that are made to be impossible.
This is true.
You're like still that arcade style. So you like rent it and you get home and you're like, I can't beat the first goddamn level. What?
Yeah.
But it's also like
what is the hardest sorry, go ahead. I'll ask this question.
Yeah, please remember the question. I don't want you to forget it. But I as a child though, you're also just really bad at games. And so like you're dumb and you don't know what you're doing. So like half of my adulthood, a good amount of my adulthood though has been like me finding a game I played as a kid and being like, whoa, I never got past like level 3, and then like playing it and then just like beating the crap out of it in a week and being like, oh well, there's my childhood dream fulfilled. Time to move on to the next one. I've beaten Myst, Banjo-Kazooie. Let's move on.
There's like a Star Wars ghost of you as a child off in the corner, like nodding in approval as you.
Yes, use the B button, Luke. Or Ian. I'm sorry, Ian. What was your question now?
What were you gonna say?
All right. So, what was the hardest video game that you played that was based off of a TV show that you bought only because it was based off of a TV show or a movie?
RoboCop for Sega Genesis.
Really?
There was a RoboCop game for Sega Genesis. It was the dopest game because you would shoot the enemies and then they would explode into a fountain of blood. And then the second level boss was that Walker robot that he fights in the movie, the chicken robot. I forget what it's called. I feel like Brandon would know the name. Brandon, do you know the name of the robot?
Oh, I don't remember the name of it, but I know what you're talking about.
Okay, but it's
I've
like
only seen Cybercop.
Lion King was a goddamn hard, impossible game.
Lion King was actually Lion King might have been that level. It was the I just can't wait to be king level. That was impossible because you would ride a fucking like hippo and then you had to hit the jump on the giraffe and then the monkeys would swing you over. That was fucking hard. But yeah, RoboCop was great, but then you would have to fight the robot that he fights in the movie, and I could never get past that fight. That robot just kicked my ass every time.
Real quick, comment in the chat. Bubba Rocket says 48 hours stuck around for a pretty long time after Blockbuster kicked the bucket too, I think. I was impressed.
I'm impressed by that too, yeah.
We had family video.
Family video.
Yeah, there's a lot of family videos around here.
Video Venture, definitely the best name of the group
anymore.
so far.
Yeah, and that's like
Dude,
a one
at the
of a
airport,
kind.
I saw a dude in a Be Kind Rewind Blockbuster shirt in Austin.
No shit.
Like Saturday.
That's
family video. Some of them still exist, but they've changed into selling CBD is like their big thing now, which is a weird thing that they still. I think it's they're like, gotta hold on to the namesake. People know us for our name.
Family video.
CBD?
Like
yeah, that's just such a weird.
It's a weird transition.
Yeah.
Right.
Have you guys ever tried any of those CBD drinks? Anything like that? Like the oils?
I haven't tried it in drinks. I've tried it in like some oils and things.
I had like CBD ciders and stuff like that in Chicago, but I didn't really notice much of a difference.
I didn't. Yeah. They say you're supposed to relax. Like maybe it's supposed to be more of like an internal relaxation. I don't quite know, but I've never found myself on edge maybe after drinking a CBD thing. I guess there's something to be said about that because my anxiety levels are just constantly through the roof. But yeah, I love it. I love being fucking anxious all the time. It's so good.
Like I get more out of like the hard kombuchas because then at least I like poop.
I do like kombucha drinks. My ex and I used to drink kombucha drinks because we watched like some YouTubers and then they made a funny video about kombucha and then we were like, ha ha ha, look, kombucha, let's buy these and drink them for fun because of the video we just saw, ha ha ha. And then we liked the drink, so we just started drinking kombucha more.
Yeah.
Not bad.
Kombucha's good though.
Kombucha is good. It tastes
Joke's
a
on
bit
you.
vinegary. Yeah, joke's on me. You just drank healthy shit, nerd.
It's vinegary.
It's very
Yeah.
vinegary, yeah. But it's good stuff. I kind of miss
Gut health.
it. Get that good.
Wait, you're gonna miss it? Is that what you just said?
No, I miss it. I mean, I haven't been to
Oh,
the
I thought you
city.
said it's good stuff. Gonna miss it. And I'm like, where's it going? What's happening? Kombucha. I didn't get the memo.
Kombucha is
Kombucha's
canceled.
banned. Yeah, we're like canceled
Turns out it's
bucha.
made out of people, so they have to stop.
They were calling it kombucha, but now people are leaving it like it's go-bucha.
They tell me.
Get. The close-ups don't work right now. I fucked up the close-ups. Oopsies, I fucked up that thing too.
Night is
Oh,
night
boy.
for.
In high school, I really loved heating up warm apples, like heating up apples on like the stove.
Mhm.
Oh, whoa! What happened?
What did happen?
And then putting slices of cheese on it. And everyone thinks I'm gross.
The apples. Well,
Apples and cheese.
I liked it.
So,
I haven't had it
I will-
forever.
I will say
heard
my
peanut
initial
butter in
reaction
apples.
is weird, but that doesn't mean anything until I try it. You know?
Here's the thing.
I
There are
reserve
definitely-
I reserve my judgment till after tasting it.
There are definitely more overpowering flavors than apple that you could combine with cheese.
Like cold people will eat it together, but why not warm?
Warm at? Wait, did you melt the cheese on the apples?
People eat,
Yeah,
eat warm apples and cheese? Or what,
people
cold
eat
apples
cold,
and cheese?
like on charcuterie boards and stuff.
You're right. Okay, you're right. Okay.
Yeah, it is on
Okay, I'll
charcuterie.
take
You're
it
right.
back. Nah, that's not weird then. I didn't think about
It's
it.
too refined for Kansas.
You've recruited another. I'm a. I will speak
That
the
is-
good
I mean,
word
those
of
are-
cheese and apple.
Those are items you might find on like a crudité spread too. You know, like maybe not
Crudité.
crudité. Yeah,
Crudite.
crudite.
Speaking of, what's some weird foods? Ian, do you have any like foods that are like forbidden foods that you like?
Forbidden foods.
Maybe wouldn't want to share that you like?
I mean,
Shamed?
I can't think of any foods I'm ashamed of. I'm very proud of my food preferences, although they are very picky.
Okay, well, that's probably why you're like you have no shame because you
only guy.
only eat the dinosaur nuggies.
I only eat French fries and hot dogs and dinosaur nuggets and mac and cheese. I mean, people seem to like really dislike when I say that the best pizza is a white pizza with anchovies.
That's a very specific taste that you're looking for, though,
Yeah,
compared to like what classic pizza is.
I think that's fair. But when people are
outraged that you
like,
say it's the best, I bet you a lot of people would like that pizza. But
people seem outraged by specifically the white pizza aspect with the anchovies. It's actually the anchovies and then the white pizza. Like they're like, will you put anchovies on a white pizza? And it's like, I don't think.
People hate
What was that?
fish. So many people just hate fish.
They do. I love. There are people who are just like, ooh, this thing has too much of a fishy, briny taste to it. I don't like it. And
I
I'm
love
like,
it.
I love
The
that shit. I
cheaper,
love
the
that
better.
brine.
like, I want a cup of salt water on the side.
Yes,
Bring the
please.
ocean.
A kind of funk that lasts for 2 days.
Yeah, I like it. I like that funk. I'm not sure why.
Ian is
Um,
adventurous with flavor, but not with texture.
Yes, flavor
That
is
is what
not
I've
what's
gathered.
flavor is not what's going to turn me off from something. I mean, if it's got a shitty flavor, it absolutely will.
Right,
But it's the texture. That's what gets me.
What about you, Brandon?
So this is what I thought of when you said the whole apples and cheese. Although that's not that weird now that you
Yeah.
broke it down.
Yeah, now that I spoke my piece.
There's my fiance's dad told me about the sandwich. And he's like,
Oh boy.
"Good, you gotta try it." And I'm like, And it's a fried egg, sriracha. So far so good, right? Things go together.
Fried egg and sriracha.
And then peanut butter,
Get the fuck out.
and you put that on a sandwich. I shamed him a lot, and then I tried it.
And then you shame him some
I
more.
like it.
Here's the thing. I'm down with the fried egg and the sriracha.
There's probably going to be some job interview in the future that digs this up and this is dirt. I can never run for politics now.
You got me thinking of that Birthday Boys sketch now. And I've told Lisa about this one because you told me about it. But it's the one where the guy's like, he just finishes up a job interview and they're like, can't think of any reason you wouldn't get this job. And then he says like, hey, do you want some milk? And the guy's like, yeah, sure, or something to drink. And then he pours like a bunch of milk out of a Sprite bottle into the cup. And the guy's,
yeah, I forgot about that.
yeah. And he's like, you understand I have to fire you now, right? And the guy's like, oh, is it because I poured the milk out of a Mountain Dew bottle? Yeah. Would it help if I explained that it's because I like the aftertaste of the Mountain Dew in the milk? That just makes it worse.
Yeah. Classic. But
it's a great sketch.
Right. It, you know, kind of adds like a little sweet and salty go together. So it makes
sweet and salty
sense
do.
to think about it, but it's really weird. It sounds different. Not bad.
So like,
yeah,
I mean,
have you guys had peanut butter burgers?
I have.
No.
I have. So that's kind of in the same ballpark.
Yeah, and those were really good. And I can see adding spice to that and still be good.
it's the egg with the, I guess egg is almost a neutral flavor, if you ask me sometimes. Yeah. Like you can throw egg in something and it won't necessarily like taste like egg.
I wonder if I have peanut butter. I can maybe try.
Can I ask you guys something peanut butter related?
Sure.
What?
Crunchy or smooth? Fight!
Depends on what it's
Crunchy.
going on.
Crunchy.
Okay, so we have a crunchy man in all instances, and then you're a contextual
I am a
peanut
crunchy
butter.
man, and I wish people would refer to me as so.
I like crunchy more though.
Okay, I like crunchy the most too. I used to be like, as a child, I was like, smooth, crunchy is bleh. But as an adult, I was like, nah, crunchy's the best shit. You get like the crunch.
People in the chat, what's the best peanut butter?
Yeah.
And if smooth, why are you wrong?
But what are contexts that you feel like? So I can think of one context that you're thinking of that where smooth makes more sense than crunchy, and that's on celery. Is that accurate?
Still disagree.
I think crunchy might be better there.
Okay,
I
interesting.
think
I agree.
maybe if like there's I'm gross. Me and my dad, his like high snack was peanut butter sandwiches dipped in milk.
What?
And so those would be smooth. Yeah, so he had this giant cup that was like this big, like the size of his head, that was like just this like big thing that he'd fill with milk, and he'd just make a bunch of peanut butter sandwiches. That was like, it was smooth or crunchy, but in that context it was better smooth, because then it just turned into like a loop that you put into your mouth.
Weird flashback now. My dad used to make rice, add milk, and raisins.
Oh yeah,
we haven't spoken since.
sweet rice. Oh, I love sweet rice.
I love how you have a name for it.
Condensed milk, or like sweetened.
Oh, okay.
I
don't think he did, but
the thought of like, so here's the thing. The moment you get bread wet, it's like it's over. It's over.
Well,
it's
Ian,
done.
do you ever dip like bread into like a soup?
No. Well, yeah, actually I do.
What?
But here's the thing.
No, yeah.
It helps if it's a toasted, like I dip, like for instance, I dip my grilled cheese into tomato soup, because grilled cheese and tomato soup are the best combination.
If you ever dip like a nice piece of like buttered bread into like a chicken noodle soup, it's delicious.
Yeah.
Okay, fair.
I remember when I was little, the best thing was like when you would like eat a sandwich really fast and you had a soda, and then like when the bread was still in your mouth, you would like drink the soda and then like feel it dissolve the crackers.
Oh no.
That's a
I
hell
love
of
textures, so you're like, I'm gonna throw up.
Yeah, I'm so anti-texture for foods. I'm no texture party.
It also depends on the bread. If you're using like grocery store like cheap bagged bread, that stuff it'll dissolve in liquids way quicker than like a bread that's got some substance to it.
True.
Real quick to the chat before we forget them.
Read the chat off
Manpleb
before
said, creamy honey, but I also like crunchy when I'm craving it. I do like creamy peanut butter. I just think crunchy is like peanut butter plus. Like it's just everything I like about peanut butter, but more.
Yeah,
Xenu
I agree.
says, give me that crunch.
Yeah.
So, we're divided in the chat so far. Bell Rocket says, I like smooth. All right. Well, you're wrong.
So matter of fact.
Van Pleb says, yeah, my grandpa did crunchy peanut butter sandwiches, dipped him in his morning bowl of Wheaties.
You need to use it with some more I will agree. Okay,
I guess
so
I've dipped a cookie in milk, and I feel like dipping a peanut butter sandwich is gotta be somewhat similar.
So
I love Sandy's shortbreads with almonds specifically.
Forgot about
But we would
Sandy
dunk them, but then we'd like put 2 of them at the bottom of the cup, just so that way it'd be like a little gloop.
Gloopy. See, I don't like that gloop. I like dipping my cookies in milk, but when they like break off and they're like in the milk now, I gotta spoon it out and like get it, or else it's gonna be like a horrible gloop, and I don't like that gloop. I don't like
that there's like a literal timer on your cookie dipping before you ruin the entire meal for yourself.
There is, and
you're like dip, and then all it falls apart. And you're like, well, this is just getting thrown out.
Ah, shit! This whole cup's wasted. So the bread, it helps if the bread is toasted, or I will not dip like fucking like white bread in my soups. I will dip like Italian bread, like more substantial bread, as was mentioned in the chat. But like,
people are white, Ian.
Hey, look, we've only been white for like 120 years or something like that. Okay. Soon as
my Italian father did not dip peanut butter sandwiches in milk.
Soon as they start trying to revoke white status of white people, Italians are the first to go. I'm just gonna let you know.
You'll be lining up. But I would like to not be white.
Yeah. Until they realize all the benefits. But Leviathan just subscribed again. No, this is perfect. This show is nothing but a train just off the rails smashing through towns constantly, like the movie Unstoppable without a track.
Belbo Rock, excuse me. Sorry, I was dying. Belbo Rocket says, "Fuck white bread."
Fuck white bread.
Yeah, it's not a great bread.
Yeah, I prefer wheat, but I'm not even gonna do like wheat bread. It has to be like fancier bread. It's not like sandwich bread that you buy. It's like $2 a loaf or something like that at the grocery store. That's not the bread I'm gonna dip my shit. It's gonna be like fancy Italian on rye or something like that. It's gonna be a more substantial bread to dip it, because I don't want to ruin the soup either with a shitty bread.
Sounds like you're a fancy Italian.
I'm a fancy Italian. Also, Leviathan Den says, sorry I'm late, I had a date tonight. Feel free to let us know in the chat if you had sex or not from your date. You actually...
Is there an unsubscribe button? He's probably one.
There is an unsubscribe button. If you go to your subscriptions menu, you can find and you can order a refund, which is completely valid. Anyways, post in the chat if you had sex. Hope your date went well.
Did your date prefer smooth or crunchy peanut butter?
That's a
first date question that came up.
I think it's a great first date question, honestly.
Is it a first date?
Was it a first date? That's a great question. Yeah.
I'm sorry.
If you did have sex though, make sure you comment with the dancing lady in a red dress emoji. If you did not have sex, comment with the guy who's like. I did not. Oh, well, he told us. I did, however, have a great night, and it went amazing. Well,
that's awesome.
You legitimately didn't have to tell us if you had sex.
As a woman, if anyone ever asks you that, please don't respond.
Yes, you don't. Please don't kiss and tell.
Me and Mitch went to a stand-up show, and like we're used to it. Like he does stand-up, whatever. But they like asked how many times a month that we have sex. It was like, I'm sorry, what the fuck?
That's definitely way too.
That's definitely. Never sit in the front row of the.
Well, I mean, it's fine. I don't mind. It's just like they were like alt comedians, so I was like, this is like club in the middle of nowhere questions. This is not like
LA people dressing up as like Spider-Man to do a set or something like that.
Oh Jesus!
So crowd work.
Like it's just a very personal question to ask in general. Like, how many times do you have sex? Because first of all, now I have to figure it out. I have to like sort of be like, oh Jesus.
You have to stop and think.
We crunch the numbers.
Does a blowjob count? No, he says the blowjob doesn't count. Let's start over.
Oh my god. Can we get out a pen and paper?
Yeah. Get out your calculator on your phone.
Oh, I'm glad that person's date went.
I'm glad your date went well. He's my cousin,
did.
by the way. I should mention they're my cousin. So I actually kind of want to hear even less if they had sex or not.
Oh my god.
I legitimately did not mean for that person to answer that question. I just thought it's a very funny thing to ask.
Where'd you guys go? What'd you guys do?
Where did you guys do it? No. Was this a front situation or a back situation here, or was it just sort of was it all hands, you know? No, but I'm so sorry. This is terrible. This is why nobody.
Best date you've ever had.
Yeah. You guys feel free to answer that question. Go for it.
For my birthday, when we were in Chicago one year, it fell on a day that was Jazz at the Shed Aquarium, which is like an after dark like sort of thing. So it was nice. Sorry. Mitch got chili mac stuff for dinner. So it was Jazz at the Shed, which is like, it's open late, and there was like a jazz band playing, and like it was just like getting over like winter, so we could go out onto like the porch of the aquarium, so you could see like the Chicago skyline, and you could also just get drunk as fuck and look at dolphins.
Hell yeah.
Like beluga whales and stuff. It was so much fun.
That's dope.
You think the dolphins know you're drunk?
I was just
I was dancing for them. And Mitch was so uncomfortable. And I was like, no, they like it. I was like wiggling like a worm.
That's so perfect. And the dolphins are just like, hey, Barry.
No, I have recordings from it, and it's just,
again.
Don't drop your phone. Lisa, stop. Don't drop your phone, because I was like holding my phone out over the water to like record. It's just, don't drop your phone.
Fantastic. I'm not gonna drop it, I swear.
Yes.
I can't hold on my fucking phone.
It was a blast.
So Brandon, what was your best
I don't know.
date?
I feel bad that I don't have an answer. I've never had a good one. None.
There's not one you just remember more?
Ian knows very well I'm bad at being put on the spot.
He is actually very bad. I ask him questions like all
my
about his
memory
life.
banks lock up when I'm asked a question.
He's got stage fright. He's pee shy with the life stories.
So scared. So scared. I don't think it's stage fright. I don't know what it is. Let me think about it for a second.
We like do like big event dates. Like a lot of time it's just like, oh yeah, we go get something to eat, but it's not like a date night. Like if like something comes to town, like one time there was Adult Swim on the Green at like Soldier Field in Chicago. Like Adult Swim came, and they had like all of these like inflatable things, but it was also like just adults. Like,
yeah, I have a poster.
On, like, this, like...
I have a poster
did you go
from.
To one?
No, I wanted to go, but I had work the one day they came to Philly. But my roommate gave me a poster from it, and I was like, oh, this
like
is nice.
The bat with like the gold. Is that the one you got?
It's just like a big, it's like a Where's Waldo thing, where it's just like a big event venue. I had it somewhere, but yeah, it's like a big venue, and there's just like all the different events that would be there. It's like kind of fantastical too, because like there's stuff that obviously they couldn't make happen because it just doesn't exist, but it was sort of like a recreation of the event, Where's Waldo style almost.
Leviathan Den says, we went for coffee and had a really nice conversation. We really hit it off. I haven't had such a fun, chill time with someone in a while. It was much needed. That sounds great.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, being able to actually talk to somebody.
I thought of a good date. It's kind of funny, but when me and my now fiance just started dating, we had only been dating like I don't know, maybe a month, probably less. My brother had his wedding, and I was like, it was kind of a risk because we started dating. I was like, you want to go to this thing?
Yeah.
And she was like, yeah. And then I was in the wedding, so She was a trooper. She just got like
Oh,
swarmed
no.
by eight sides of family, and then I was off doing other stuff. But she handled it well, and they all loved her, and it was fun time.
Yeah.
But
Nice.
that was a fun one.
My great
Also,
date.
Asher.
My best
What's-
date. We had sex, and then that was a good date. No, I don't know. I haven't been on a whole lot of dates, so I can't
Are
answer that
you a
question.
gigolo?
I'm a
You
gigolo.
attack me for not thinking of one, and then
No, I just haven't been, like I've been in like one relationship, and she did not like to leave. She had agoraphobia, so she didn't like to leave the house.
All
So-
right, ladies in the chat, we got to get some dates for Ian so we can answer this question.
dates for Ian.
Yeah. So like we would go to
Or
places.
Men, I'm sorry for assuming. I don't know.
No, it's women I'm into. Don't worry.
All right, ladies.
Hey, ladies. But yeah, she had agoraphobia, so we would go to places, and I'd be like, oh, let's go on a date, and then she would either not want to go, or we'd be there for like 30 minutes, and then she'd be like, let's go. And so like I don't consider any of those really dates.
That's good.
Yeah. I would have liked to have gone on some. I was like always trying to set something up, or like set up a fun time somewhere. But whatever.
Ian.
There's definitely things that I would love to do as a date, but I end up just doing it with my friend Jessica. It's just like, I'm tired. I don't want to go sit on the beach for 2 hours. I'm like, whatever.
I'll
I don't
go.
need you.
Jessica's
Can
cool.
it be a date with your friends, or does it have to be?
I think it could be a date with friends. Like me and Jessica's my best friend. But so we like trade neighborhoods. Like I'll go over to Culver City, like kind of by Santa Monica with her, and or she'll come over to like Glendale, Pasadena, and we'll do our Goyle dates.
Goyle
go to the
dates.
garden.
Nice. That's fun. I could see like there are some, like I think that's totally cool too. Like your significant other is not always going to be into like the same sort of activities that you are. So like
What would he do? I'm like, I want to sit here and draw this rose for 2 hours. She's like, okay, I guess I'll be on my phone.
That's fair. Although I like to sit on the beach. I like to chill on the beach. I like sitting in the sun.
Yeah.
It's weird. I'm like it's very strange. I'm the kind of person where I have to be constantly doing something. I have to be like my mind has to just constantly be going, or else I'm just gonna like go crazy and like fidget in my seat. But like the moment you put me in front of the sun, like in a seat, I can just sit there and not do anything for like hours, and that's totally fine because like the sun's probably like baking my brain, and my brain's just going like ah. But
How do you feel about campfires? Does that have the same
I
effect?
love a good
on you?
bonfire. Yeah, same effect.
Because I feel that way too. I'd turn my brain off.
Yeah, same
Stare
effect.
into fire, stare into eternity.
Yeah, that's right.
I see all the demons and I hear the screams.
I guess what I'm trying to say is when you really get my brain boiling, I'll just sit there for hours like a fucking idiot.
There you go.
But yeah, I love sitting on the beach because I just love to fucking chill there and enjoy the ambience and the sun, and
Once
It's a good
he's
time.
there, he likes it, but he likes it. He works in person with like tiny children, so I fully understand him wanting to just sit inside.
yeah, just kind of disassociate from like society
Yes.
for like a little bit. I totally understand that. Yeah, makes
He
perfect
just
sense.
Elden Rings
That's fair. It's a fun game.
while I'm at the beach.
Oh, we have some chat things just real quick. I don't remember the best, but I do remember all the bad ones. Yeah, you always remember the bad ones over the mediocre ones. That is for
That's
sure.
true. I could have a longer list of those.
Ian's sounding a bit on a dry stretch with his obsession. Hey. Yeah. But we don't gotta talk about it. Look, I went through a bad breakup, got evicted, got into a new house, and then the pandemic happened, okay? It was a bad setup.
I mean, didn't.
The worst date. My mom went through a stretch where she was trying to set me up with people,
Oh boy.
and it got to
That
a
always
point
goes well.
where I would barter my time with like her paying to get my oil changed or paying for new tires for my car for me to meet these men.
That's funny as fuck.
And it was always fucking terrible. And they were just like, oh, because it was Topeka, Kansas, like not necessarily a small town, but small enough. They're like, oh yeah, he's just like, the girlfriends he's had just really don't understand him. And I think he just needs somebody a little bit more cultured and like quirky and like, ugh, like just dudes looking for like a manic pixie girl. And just like,
ugh,
I couldn't do it. It was the worst.
That's
but
like weird.
My car was in great shape.
Some like weird, low-key prostitution where it's like mom's paying for my car.
Yeah.
Yeah, a little bit, but you know, we don't have to.
But it was like Victorian rules where it's like, okay, well, we've met.
Yeah, exactly. That's like a sitcom, or not like a sitcom, but that's like a thing I've seen in like a Victorian thing where it's like the plucky young woman protagonist who's just like, oh, these men are just not suitable suitors for me. My mother, she's constantly trying to equip me with a betrothed.
Oh,
and then,
for sure.
And
another
like,
gentleman caller.
And then it's like a Gilmore Girls type scene where like the mom is like, well, you'll go on a date with him tomorrow. And she's like, well, if I do, I get horseback lessons for 2 days. Well, okay then. And then, it's...
She meant well.
She meant well. She just wanted you to be happy.
I guess. I don't know. I think it's because like I always dated like guys in like bands or who are artists who like kind of just pieces of shit. Like,
as an artist, I understand.
No,
yeah, we're all
like,
pieces of shit.
Not good ones.
No, I mean, here's the thing. When you date like people who have steady jobs, there's a pretty good chance that they have their heads on their shoulders and like their lives are together, and like there's like a reasonable percentage that they'll be shitty people. But when you date like musicians and artists, those are people who like are living on the fringes of society, which means they're either very used to exploiting people, or they're very used to being like good people, or like somewhere in between all of those. But like the fact that so much of them are going to be like used to exploiting people means they're going to be shitty people to date, and shitty people in general. So you just have like a higher, like if you were dating like, oh yes, I've been working in magazine for 5-10 years, you're like, that person's probably got their shit together. They have a toothbrush of their own. They wash daily, and then like, you know, sometimes you'll meet like a guy in a band and he's just like, oh yeah, I shower in like the sink of the soup kitchen 2 blocks away or some shit like that. Yeah, but like
Ian,
sometimes you're
I'm no longer
that.
in the dating pool, but you should not promote this. You should not further this stereotype about artists, because that was a struggle as a dating person when I was. Somebody's like, so what do you do? And I'm like, well, I'm an illustrator. Like,
So bye.
Yeah. So, Ian, don't help.
Look,
don't help water that garden.
I'm just saying that makes a lot of I'm just saying there's a lot of artists who I've met who are totally willing to exploit the shit out of people, and it's not all artists, it's just some of them, but there's a bit of that there. So is your shark watching Chainsaw Week on television? Or Texas Chainsaw Massacre? I just noticed the kids all cowering in fear, and those are like the little ewes.
It was supposed to, be what we were talking about earlier, but I like that it's Chainsaw Week.
I would watch Chainsaw Week.
Yeah, you've been wondering what's above land. Well, welcome. We have Chainsaw Week. Hold on, there's people in the chat. Oh, my mom does everything she can to convince me not to date. Okay. I'm almost 30, but I think my parents still think But I think to my parents, I'm still maybe 13 tops. Yeah. And then they're saying, Ian, that's a really bad plug for yourself, and I'm feeling very attacked, Ian. So yeah,
Yeah, this is a show with all artists on it, primarily for artists, and you're dragging us through the mud here, Ian.
I'm dragging like 60% of artists through the mud, okay? Only 60.
Oh, the parents. my mom still treats me like my grandma. I was like getting pizza out of the oven when I was back, and she's like, "Don't burn yourself." And I was like, "Grandma, I'm 30."
Yeah, no, my
Her
parents
sister started laughing really hard.
My parents still think I'm a kid too. Like, we haven't been to a restaurant in a while, but like as early as like when I was 29, my mom still like will be at a restaurant. And my mom will be like reading off the menu items to me, like, "Oh, Ian, did you see they have spaghetti and meatballs?" And it's like, "Yeah, Mom, I can fucking read a menu. Like, I know."
Yeah.
Ian, do you know
like,
what ceviche is? Yeah, I know what ceviche is. It's chopped up raw fish.
Mom, I was gonna order chicken tenders, but now I feel like I can't because Mom is
Yeah.
hovering over me.
What were you gonna say, Lisa?
Oh, just like, so my brother just had a baby. And it's just like so wild that well, I mean, Mitch's family has kids too, but it's like, how wild is it that it's like literally they have memories of you like the first day you were born. And so like their collective memory of you is greater towards you as an infant, because as you get older, you're there less. And so it's like,
True.
I don't know. So I understand it. I don't love it.
Yeah, I get it too. For that reason too is actually a very good explanation to it. I also just think like your parents just kind of want to hold on to like that semblance of like, oh, I can take care of somebody, because like eventually you're gonna have to take care of them, and that's kind of like the scary part. Is eventually they're gonna regress into children, and you're gonna be there being like, "Mom, here, do you see on the menu it's spaghettios and meatballs, or spaghetti and meatballs?"
What did you say?
"Mom, don't worry, just because the waiter is not white doesn't mean that they're taking over, Mom." Okay. Like, just
taking over this Cracker Barrel.
Yeah. That makes it sound like my parents are very racist. My parents are actually pretty good on race, but I just imagine as you regress in age, you get more afraid of like everything. But
the waiter's a robot, Mom. We don't use that term anymore.
That's a real threat in the future.
Yeah. And Vanfleb says one day you pick up your kid for the last time without realizing it, which is true.
Yeah.
So
it's fucking sad.
Yeah. So there's a reason why they want to still sort of hold on to that, like, you as a child. It sucks as to be that person who is just like, "No, I'm 30. You don't have to try and explain the plot to Caddyshack to me, Mom. It's okay."
My parents are
What's
pretty
cool
good.
Sorry, go ahead.
No, I don't have much to say. I'm just my parents are pretty good at like, I don't know. I don't get much of that.
Treating you like an adult.
It existed for a while because it's hard to, I think, as a parent, know when that cutoff is. But at this point, they're all pretty good on. Like,
well, it
they
helps.
treat me like an adult, I feel like.
I think it helps that you're getting married. Like, the marriage thing is like,
that definitely helps.
It's both like you're somebody else's problem now, but also like you've done like the final adult thing that like they, aside from like having kids and
in their opinion, they think kids is the final adult thing, but it's on them.
But
kids in this economy.
Yeah, kids in this. That's one of my favorite TikToks. Is this guy?
On accident.
Yeah. One of my favorite TikToks is this guy. He's sitting in his car and he's just like, "Hey, you're single. When you gonna get a girlfriend? Hey, you got a girlfriend. When you gonna get married? Hey, you got married. When you gonna have kids?" And then like the last one where he's like screaming now, he's like, "Yeah, a kid. Well, when you gonna have another one?"
Oh God. Yep.
I'm very thankful that my brother is having kids because the target has been taken off me by my parents.
For sure.
Yeah, thank God for that.
My fiance, unfortunately, is a single child, so her parents have not accepted the fact that we are currently not planning on children. That's always responded with the, "Oh, I said that too. You'll change your mind."
Of course.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not interested in having children at all.
I love children. I just don't really want any of my own.
I like kids so much. I want to keep a reasonable distance. Like the moment you have something, it's lost its luster to it. It's not fun anymore. So like kids are gonna stay fun by me never having one, and it's always like somebody else's kid. I'm like, "Hey, throw the basketball or throw the baseball at me." "Whoa, you threw so hard, you made my chest hurt."
I'm the guy at like Thanksgiving that's like sprinting through the kitchen after the nieces and nephews while everybody else is like talking about something boring.
The last time,
And then,
yeah,
like my sister will be like, "You kids need to stop running," and like I'm the adult standing right there too, like.
I'm,
Parent voices still scare the shit out of me.
yeah, for sure.
Like when somebody like does the tone and then like loud, I'm just like, what did I do?
Does it still get you, like, if somebody says your full name, like first, middle, and last name, do you still kind of get like a am I in trouble?
Not necessarily.
Brandon Michael Chapman. Ian Michael
That's
Newton.
Yeah, I don't.
Lisa, middle name, last name. I don't want to
It's
dox you.
Probably Michael, right?
I'm sorry.
Murray Peterson.
Oh, okay. I was just playing the odds.
But it's Alyssa Murray.
Alyssa Marie Peterson. Did I get you a little bit? Ooh.
No.
Oh, okay.
Elbow Rocket says your nieces and nephews can tell you're also a child in secret. Yeah, it's true. They're
like, oh, you're not a stick in the mud.
Yeah.
I show up to the party and my nephew runs up with new information about Minecraft to talk to me about, and you
keep up with it.
other than Minecraft. Yeah, I know what he's talking about.
I love talking about cartoons with my niece. And then Mitch, I was like joking around. I was like, oh, they have Paw Patrol on here. And I was like, I actually watch Paw Patrol. And it's just like, well, that's good because you're an adult. And I was like, but I use it as a punchline for a lot of things. I feel like I should at least see what it is.
I think that's fair. That's Brandon always using Big Bang Theory as a punchline and shit. You should, come watch 8 episodes.
You've never watched it?
With
I should watch it. I've seen episodes of it.
Oh, then that's enough.
Yeah.
Thank God.
Bazinga. Gosh, I have a question for you guys.
Go ahead and ask it.
Do you? Oh fuck! I fucked it up again. Hold on. No, stop.
No.
Wait. I need to set up other screens for this mode. I forgot to do it. Give me a sec. Hold on. DrawBomb is recording live. Do you guys have any thing you'd like to plug?
Lisa, you can go first if you haven't.
Maybe just my Instagram, but that also doesn't matter that much.
Okay, her Instagram.
Fuck my
You guys can probably
Instagram.
find it. Good luck.
Yeah, no, it's just shiny period doggy, but I don't know. I don't want to make anyone do anything.
You're not
That's
making no one do
fine.
nothing.
Yeah, you're not making
Just
anyone
giving
do
them
anything.
options.
Yeah.
Oh, you know what? I realized I messed this thing up.
I have something to plug.
Go for it.
Some of you were there for it, but a week ago today, is that right? Did we do it
That's
Tuesday?
correct, yes.
We created a film on the channel, an improv animation was the thing we're kind of calling it, film.
Yeah.
And we did it for a film festival that basically was like a challenge to create a movie in under 3 hours instead of watching the Oscars. And it's finished. It's on YouTube.
We're very proud of it.
Yeah, we talked about it a little bit earlier on the show. We're very proud of it. You should check it out. It's called
Very
Two Dicks,
good.
One Beat.
2 dicks on the beat. Wait, hold on. I know what you're
Oh
doing
yeah,
here.
2 Dicks on the Beat. I don't know. I had some weird like 2 girls 1 cup thing that just like slipped
You
through
did
my
just
brain.
now, yeah. I
A
didn't.
Freudian cup. 2 Dicks on the Beat.
Mm-hmm.
Check it out. Maybe we should drop a link for it.
Oh yeah, we never did put it in the actual Discord, did we? I'll post a link in the
I don't think so,
Discord
but-
for everybody.
Yeah.
2 dicks on the beat, though.
As
So yeah,
per-
and you said your Instagram, Lisa.
Oh yeah. Oh, you just call me Lisa.
Lisa. Okay, now I'm all scared. I'm gonna say your name wrong.
It's just Lisa.
Lisa. Okay.
I've
But-
never gone by Alyssa because no one's ever said it right. So it's
Okay.
like it's a family thing.
Okay, but if I were being your family and I was like yelling at you, I would be Alyssa Marie Peterson. Alyssa Millie. I fucked it up. I got
Alyssa
so.
Murray.
I got so caught up on trying to say your first name right.
Like
Anyways.
Lisa Marie Presley, but Alyssa Marie Peterson.
Alyssa Marie Peterson.
Yeah.
It's a completely normal name. I don't know why I'm fucking it up. It's like, your name is Bradley.
Because it's spelled wrong. It's the Lisa that trips everyone because there's the E in front of it.
I did have a
doesn't make
friend
sense, but-
whose name was Karina, but it was spelt like Corinne, and I wanted to call her Corinne for the longest time, and that fucked me up. But yeah, thank you so much for being on here. We also do a
thank you
show.
guys. I had so much fun.
Yeah, I'm happy to have you on anytime. You're a lot of fun to have on. You let us say all the embarrassing things we say, and you don't make fun of us for it. And it's much appreciated. And we love your drawings too. Like the Chainsaw Week is a great pick. I love that.
Great.
Also,
I like this
you
River Styx, man.
yeah, the rivers. The Karen is a great. Is it Charon or is it Karen, by the way? Because I've heard it's pronounced like Karen, but that is a funny name now.
I don't know.
Corinne.
Dead coins.
Dead coins. We do have a show we do every Monday. We're doing Monday for next week, or tomorrow? Is next week Tuesday show?
Next week
again?
is Tuesday also.
Okay,
But
so
then we're
next
going
week.
back to normal after next week.
Yeah, so next week we're all going to be doing this on Tuesday once again. Then it's back to normal on Mondays, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time or Savings Time, depending on what time of the year it is. Oh yeah, also, Lisa, you recently had Dead Space, or not Dead Space, I'm sorry. Liminal Spaces, what's
Deep
it?
States?
Deep States, thank you. Deep States came
Yeah.
out recently.
Dead Space.
Yeah, Molly put that out.
Molly, but you worked on
the-
it?
Mm-hmm.
I saw
I did the Duncan Trussell scene.
I was gonna
I did
say,
a
did
couple
you do the
things,
Duncan
but-
Trussell scene? Because that felt like a scene that you were. I felt like I could tell that was your scene.
Thanks.
I'll check that out.
Yeah, Molly was just like, I trust you. And I was like, thank you.
I thought you did great.
Where
I
can
thought
one find this?
Thanks.
it's on YouTube.
YouTube?
I can
No,
find it.
a link- A link was provided in the Discord the day of release. So folks, if
Okay.
you want to check it out, it is in our Discord. You can check out our
Oh, my
DrawBomb
bad.
Discord right down here. It's in the chat now. But it's great. It's about 5 minutes long. It's a lot of fun. Gets a little spicy at one point, I thought.
Ooh.
But I really enjoyed it. I'm excited for more. And you also
Yeah,
are
there is another one that's gonna eventually come out.
sweet. Are you working on that one too?
Well, yes, but not now. There's
Gotcha.
other stuff that she's doing.
Gotcha. But it was a lot of fun to watch, and I recommend everyone check it out.
I'll watch
and
it right
you're-
after this.
You're working on a lemon thing that is really fun.
Yeah.
Is that secret? Am I not supposed to say that?
No, that's fine. I've been kind of obsessed with lemons. Yeah, so I'm making a lemon shirt.
You did a similar animation earlier to that. Like it was another lemon themed animation that is out, right? With
Yeah.
like the little lemon cows.
Oh yeah, I've seen that.
Yeah,
That's great.
I did a lemon cow thing, and now I'm trying
Poor
to
cows.
do one.
Yeah.
I've been posted with like I'm trying to do like the old cell style. So it's kind of hard to see in this, but I'm gonna do more effects over it. Playing with like turbulence and stuff like that. Because the first, like, I guess it's like with the idea of let me go really deep. Like your first idea isn't like your best idea, and then it's like, oh, that thing's a lemon, it's not a good idea, and it's just kind of like barreling through with like, I actually like this and I'm gonna make it. Sorry, Mitch. So that's what I've been doing, but I'll just probably post it on my Instagram because it's more about making it than trying to get people to look at it.
That's fair.
If that makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
like
just
to
gotta
practice.
get that stuff out, and then some of my favorite projects end up coming out of that kind of
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
thing.
Thank you
but-
guys for
awesome.
bringing it up, though. I appreciate it.
Oh, yeah, of course. You showed me what you have planned for your next lemon animation, and I
Yeah.
love it. There's so much fun animation in it, like that you can see through in
Thanks.
the storyboard. But like what happens in it is very enjoyable, and I'm excited for people to get a chance to see it.
Yeah, whenever I finish it, we'll see.
Yeah, let us know.
I'm excited to see it.
So sorry.
No, it's okay. But
Ian, should we host someone?
oh shit, that's a great question. Who is available to host?
Cody Scheibe's on.
Let's host a Cody Scheibe. Why not?
Okay, sure.
Or we could host Julie22. She's got a. Have you ever checked out Julie22's streams?
I don't think so.
Oh, you should, because we just talked about the movie we made. We should check out Julie22 streams. It's a lot of fun. And she does something really interesting with streaming that's similar to what we did for the movie, but it's not quite. And yeah, I'll set that up right now.
Sounds good.
I messed it up.
Everybody
I'm
for
sorry.
No, that's okay.
Oh, you're good. Don't worry about it.
Yeah,
Thanks everybody
yes.
for watching.
Alright.
Bye from Den,
Thank
Bell
you.
Rocket, Vamplab, Z-Newts.
The
Who else?
Squillen person, Dallas Quinlan.
Dallas Quinlan.
Thank you.
And the rest.
And
Thank
the
you for
rest.
watching. Bye.
Bye.